Hey everybody, welcome back to the Blockbuster Show. I'm Adam Sykes, and welcome to the Summer of Spoof, the 3-episode miniseries where we're going to be looking at some terrible parody movies. First up is 2008's Meet the Spartans.
Day, boys! For today is the day you die! What? I mean they die. Today's the day they die. That's what I meant to say.
Meet the Spartans.
Made by hack film producer comedy writers Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer, this was, I think, their third official movie that they made on their own. They have writing credits from the first Scary Movie. They were 2 of the 6 writers. Then they made such awesome movies like Date Movie, Epic Movie, Disaster Movie, which I heard was awesome.
So that was terrible, awful, deplorable, easily the worst movie ever made.
Vampire Sucks, The Starving Games, Super Fast, and I guess some other stuff. This movie is a parody of the 300 movie that came out a year before, I believe. And, well, there's really only one joke that they keep using throughout the entire movie that's actual satire about the movie 300, and that was 300 was kind of homoerotic.
300's good, but it was kinda gay.
Which doesn't work because guess what? Everyone who even remotely saw the trailer to 300 was making those kind of jokes. So it's completely unoriginal. Not to say that you can't make those kind of jokes work, but knowing these guys, yeah, there's no way it actually would have been pulled off. I know this is kind of a lame thing to point out about a parody movie, but the production is cheap. I'm not surprised, but if you look at the budget, this movie had a pretty decent budget. Granted, it could only get them celebrities like Carmen Electra and Kevin Sorbo, but gotta admit, Kevin Sorbo was a pretty good grab. Not so much Carmen Electra, because she's in a lot of these bad parody movies already. There are 3 different drinking games that you could play while watching this movie. Take a shot every time something from 2007 or 2008 is referenced. Take a shot every time some disgusting bodily function joke happens. Or 3, take a shot every time there's some kind of product placement, because this movie will make Adam Sandler go, man, I need to step up my game, because there's lots of product placement in this movie, and I'm more than positive that that's where the budget went. So as for the actual movie itself, we begin with a Shrek 3 reference, as well as a joke about Angelina Jolie adopting foreign kids. Once again, it's not like everyone else made that joke before they did. We see Leonidas as a baby. The joke with him as a baby is that he has a beard and he has abs on a baby. That's really all that amounts to. There's a Casino Royale parody that goes nowhere, and the joke with that is that the guy's bleeding from his face like in the original movie, and he puts dog food on Leonidas's balls, which then gets bitten by a dog. I will admit, there is one kind of funny joke involving a Subway sandwich. That was probably the best part of the actual movie.
No mayo? This is bullshit.
A penguin shows up, it starts tap dancing, and as if you somehow couldn't get the actual joke already, they blatantly look at the camera and go, man, you got happy feet. I'm dead serious. That's what they do in the movie. They really think the audience is that stupid. He kills the penguin, he comes back to his village wearing the penguin pelt. He meets Carmen Electra, they get married, years down the road they have a kid. The joke with the kid is that he keeps getting battered and smacked around a crap ton in cartoony fashion, and that wasn't funny. It was just lame slapstick. Persians then show up and announce to Leonidas that if they don't give over Sparta, that the Spartans and the Persians will have to go to war. But if the Spartans give their king Xerxes the land, and everyone submit, with the men becoming slaves, women becoming sex slaves, and children having to work in factories making Nike shoes. Oh my god. Then after they kick the Persian guys in, they then kick a series of celebrities into the pit, including Britney Spears, K-Fed, San Jemima, or whatever that guy's name was, the Indian dude on American Idol who had the mohawk, that guy. The American Idol judges, Ryan Seacrest, and probably a bunch of other people I'm forgetting. It wasn't funny, it goes on way too long, and the joke is just not clever. It's just, look at these celebrities who are kind of current at the moment. They're in the pit of death. Boom, yeah. What? Make an Ugly Betty joke because the Oracle was supposed to be really pretty and she's Ugly Betty because Ugly Betty existed. That's where the joke was. Later, Leonidas and Carmen Electra have a sex scene, which the joke with that is that he's lifting her like a barbell and then he throws her, and that was, again, just more unfunny slapstick. Probably the most baffling sex scene since Birdemic, and both ended in a crossfade, so as if those two movies are linked. We get to the joke that instead of 300 Spartans, it's 13 guys, one of which is really fat, and that's really about it. Some more unfunny gay jokes. They reference, okay, this movie's this brain dead for humor. They actually start taking stuff from the internet. They reference that edited 300 trailer where they had It's Raining Men playing in the background. The joke here is that instead they're singing I Will Survive. Yeah, that's how brain dead this movie is. They actually reference stuff that was funny on YouTube. And that's not the only time they do it. They do it later, and we'll get to that. You come across Paris Hilton, who is the hunchback from 300. Yeah, just more Paris Hilton. Who's referencing Paris Hilton in 2008? Seriously, what? A couple of warriors show up. The costumes look like something out of a Halloween store catalog. It really does. They're terrible looking. I know, again, this is a parody. It has to look silly, but they didn't try whatsoever. And then we get a parody of Stomp the Yard, and we get a close to 3-minute sequence of them having a dance-off. And it's not funny.
You got served.
Xerxes then shows up, and they even have a line of dialogue that says, he looked like the fat guy from Borat, and it's the same actor, so there you go. Xerxes sends a couple of smack talkers, and them and the Spartans have a Yo Mama battle for a little bit. That wasn't funny. Paris Hilton then gives Xerxes information about the Spartans' battle strategy, and in return he pops her hunchback, and it explodes, and it's all goo and stuff, and there you go, there's the bodily function joke. You're lucky I'm not counting every single one of the bodily function jokes. There's a lot of them, to the point where it's kind of disturbing how many bodily function jokes there actually was. We cut back to the Spartans. They're drinking Starbucks because Starbucks is popular. The Persians then bust out their best weapon, which is a blue screen, which is kind of clever, I guess. Not really. Oh, I just remembered what probably the best joke in the actual movie, the closest thing to satire this movie gets. They have a character whose name is Councilman Traitoro, and the first time you see him, he's holding up a book that says Treason for Dummies. That's actually kind of clever because it's making fun of the fact that movies, including 300, have characters who are obviously going to be backstabbing the main characters. That was actually kind of clever. But too bad it's buried under the mountain of bullcrap that this movie is. Spartans and the Persians go to war finally. The Persians unleash one of their other weapons, which is Rocky Balboa, because Rocky Balboa came out at the time. Rocky Balboa kills Kevin Sorbo's son, who is a character, and then once Kevin Sorbo kills off Rocky, Kevin Sorbo gets killed. Leonidas decides he's going to kill Xerxes for that. There's a Grand Theft Auto joke. Xerxes then hops into a Cadillac, which has the cube from the Transformers movies. He then merges with the car and he becomes Xerxes Tron, who is equipped with advanced alien technology, which enables him to play the Chris Crocker Leave Britney Alone video.
I'm Xerxes Tron, equipped with advanced alien technology.
Leave Britney alone!
Yeah, I told you they referenced stuff that was on the internet. And of all things, they referenced that. Why? Let's say it. Because it was popular. Xerxes is about to attack them, but his plug gets unplugged, because get it, he's a transformer and he has a giant plug that plugs into a wall. Gets unplugged, falls on top of them, and crushes all the Spartans. What is it with parody movies? Like, ever since Scary Movie 1 did it, it seems like almost all these kind of parody movies have to end with someone getting hit by a large object or some kind of vehicle. What is with that? A while back with Carmen Electra, she's talking with Councilman Traitoro, who tries to convince the Spartan people that they should just submit to the Persians. But then Carmen Electra turns into Venom from Spider-Man 3, and Trader-O is Sandman, and then they have a fight scene, and she kills off Trader-O. Man, you know what? Spider-Man 3 wasn't a great movie, but I can openly admit I kind of have a soft spot for it. I kind of like Spider-Man 3. Say what you want about Spider-Man 3 not being very good, I totally understand it, but you know what? At least Spider-Man 3 is not Meet the Spartans. So with the Spartans crushed by the dead Xerxes robot, you think that'd be the end of the movie, right? Well, no. Guess what? There's even more stuff. During the credits, they have the entire cast singing I Will Survive, and then they even show outtakes. Stuff that wasn't good enough to be in Meet the Spartans. Think about that. In conclusion, this movie's dumb. I know people out there like it, and you know what? Good for you. If you like it, you know, go right ahead. You can like it. I'm not going to judge you for it. But honestly, there's a reason a lot of people didn't like this. There's so many reasons why. It's not funny, it's cheap, its humor relies on nothing but potty humor and references, it treats the audience like idiots, it's dated, it's stupid, and it's not clever whatsoever. There's no parody, there's no satire, nothing about this was clever whatsoever. And I'm not saying that every parody has to be groundbreaking satire. I can like stupid stuff, I like the first few Scary Movies, but nothing about this, like, it wasn't even stupid funny. Man, this made me want to go back and actually watch Go Animate the Movie. Go Animate the Movie was bad, but it was hilariously bad. This movie isn't even up to that. The movie is not in the same field as something like Go Animate the Movie, or Birdemic Shock and Terror, or Cool Cat Saves the Kids even. Like, this movie is in its own level of bad. Those movies, I'm starting to see why people said that those were so bad they're good. They're bad, and that's what makes them funny. This movie is attempting to be funny, and it fails miserably. That's what makes something like this terrible. They're trying to be funny, and nothing about it whatsoever is funny. So Meet the Spartans is easily one of the worst movies that I've ever reviewed for the Blockbusters show. Not the worst. I still think that the worst movie we've ever done in the history of this show goes to Where the Dead Go to Die, back when we were doing parodies. That was a lot worse, because it just was. Everything about Where the Dead Go to Die was just so much worse. But yeah, with that said, I don't recommend Meet the Spartans. Again, if you like it, good for you. Perfectly entitled to your opinion. But yeah, I am one of the people that didn't really like this movie. So, tune in next time for the next Summer of Spoof episode that comes out in July. And I'll be looking at the sports parody movie, The Comebacks. So, look forward to that. See you guys later.